In this session I want to talk about taking notes and about approaches to taking notes that students have found effective over the years. And one of these systems is called the Cornell Note Taking system. It's very simple, very straightforward, and I just want to have a few words about it. It may help you in your approach to studies. For a start, with the Cornell system, we divide up a page, a simple blank page, divided up approximately 6 inches, or equivalent in metric of course, and 2.5 inches on the other side and 2 inches at the bottom, exactly as produced on the screen at the moment. Doesn't have to be exact, I suppose, but near enough what we've got on the screen at the moment. And then in the 6-inch part, in this part on the right, you would record during a study session, record any notes and record the key points that are mentioned, put them in here into this section. Questions, well, immediately follow the class, formulate questions based on the notes. So look at the notes you've taken and then formulate some questions. Try and generate some questions out of the notes and try and get solutions to those questions. Writing questions helps you to clarify the meaning. It helps reveal relationships, establish continuity, and strengthen memory. It also sets a perfect stage for exam studying later. So try to write out the questions. Try to see what was said. You've recorded this, point one. Now try to generate the questions and write out the questions clearly, so you have a clear set of questions based on what you have recorded, what you have written down earlier. Recite, or say out loud, cover the notes column with a sheet of paper and then look at the questions that you've written down, or the cue words in the questions, and cue column and the cue column only, and say aloud in your own words the answers to the questions, or the facts or the ideas indicated by the cue words, I should say. So just use it. You've got a set of questions, you've made some notes, recorded some notes, you've written out some questions, you've also perhaps recorded some basis for the answers to the questions. Now use a piece of paper and cover up the answers, look at the questions, try to remember what the answers are, and then slide the piece of paper down, look at the answers and compare those with what you've just said. And do this continuously until you've learnt the answers to those questions. And then think about the whole thing. Reflect on the material by asking yourself questions. For example, what's the significance of these facts? What principles are they based on? How can I apply them? How do they fit with what I already know? And what's beyond them? So you're asking a whole series of questions about the answers, about the facts that you've learned, and about the ideas you've come across. So you start by recording perhaps the lecture, then you've written out some questions about what you've written down, then you've researched the answers, you've got the answers to the questions, then you've practiced the answers by sliding down the piece of paper. Now you're thinking about the whole thing and thinking back, what was all of this about? Finally, review, or spend the last few minutes every week reviewing all your previous notes. And if you do that for every lecture, for every class, if you go back and look over all of them and think about all of them, eventually you'll become very familiar with those questions and those answers. You become very familiar with the material. You'll understand it. Go back over it on a frequent basis and just take a piece of paper, cover up the answers, look at the questions, try to answer it, look at the answers, remember it, do it for the next question and the next question, and look at the answers and so on, and do that on a regular basis, so you'll have a better understanding of what the material is about. Now the Q column, well, for each study point, record a few words that will bring back into your mind what you've read or what you've studied. These will be your Q words. So when you look at a question and you know what the answer is, just write down just a couple of words about the answer that will bring the answer to mind. So look at the question, look at the answer, and think what couple of words, just 2 or 3 words, which you could write in the left-hand column, which will trigger off the answer in your mind. And after class, use the bottom space at the bottom of each page to summarize the notes on the page. Just do a general summary. And that's the Cornell system. It's very simple, very straightforward, but very effective. And think about using it. It will be a good and a wise move. Well, that's all we're going to deal with here. It's a very short video, so let's leave it at that and say thank you for watching.